Welcome back, traders, to a new video. Today I want to be talking about the stock Amazon and trading options with it. The question is, do I trade Amazon? Do I recommend you to trade Amazon options? Everything about Amazon options we will be talking about today. And at the end of the day, we'll talk about, do I recommend you trading Amazon options or not? So before we get started, if you're interested in my course, there will be a link in the description. The link is mosestrades.com. It's pretty much an options course where I teach you how to be profitable trading options with very little buying power and minimal risk. So you don't need an account that's, $25,000. Around $1,000, $2,000 is kind of like the minimum for options. I'll teach you how to do that. And the main thing is I teach you how to have minimal risk. You don't want to be getting into an option trade if you have $1,000 and losing $200 right away. That's not a good sign. I teach you how to have minimal risk. So, you could have a lot of upside, but minimal risk, and you don't need a lot of buying power. So I teach all of that in my course. So if you are interested, you can check it out. Link will be in the description. But let's get right into the video. All right. So if we look at Amazon is to the right. If we look at let's say the max time frame, we can see that Amazon did have a pretty big run, meaning that it does have a lot of upside. It started out as like a $78 stock, maybe even less, and it ran all the way to 3,773 so far. But it does have, what a lot of people are interested in is because it does have a lot of range. For example, today, the highs today was 3,324, and the lowest was 3,287. This is around a 40 point move. So people are like, Amazon does move a lot. Why not trade options with it? And here today, it was a little bit bouncy. I did trade it a few days ago. So if we go to the 5-minute chart and then we go to the time frame, let's do 10 days. I did trade it. I traded a little bit on Wednesday and then a little bit on Thursday. Actually, no, I didn't. I only traded on Wednesday. And I want to be talking about my experience. But before I talk about my experience, the fact that Amazon has a big range is true. However, it's just an illusion. What do I mean by that? So Amazon is a $3,000 stock. So Amazon is to the right, and then we have Tesla to the left. So if we look at Amazon, for example, this was a pretty big drop. So let's look at a regular day, for example, when I traded it, which was this day right here. So Amazon, it was at 3,348, and then it went to 3,297. This is around 50 points, right? Now, 50 points sounds a lot. However, it is a $3,300 stock. So if you proportion, if you take the percentage of the move on Amazon, take the percentage and compare it to any other stock that is usually in play, like Tesla, Moderna right now, stuff like that, the percentage most likely is going to be very similar. There's not going to be a big difference unless there's some big news or something like that. So the percentage is always going to be the same. So it's only an illusion that Amazon does move a lot and it's a big range. Yes, it is. However, the percentage is still the same. So this is the stock itself. Now let's move into the options world. So now let's look at the options. Now what I did was I took a day and I actually screenshotted the options because making a video at the open is going to be hard because I still want to trade. So what I decided to do is I'm just going to take screenshots. I had Amazon to the side. I took some screenshots and so that I have the screenshots for this video. So up here you can see the exact time the screenshot was taken. Oh, here, now you can see it. So for example, this one was taken 9:31 23 seconds AM, so 1 minute and 23 seconds after the open. As all of you know, and hopefully you know, that I don't trade the first 2 minutes of the open for options because the option price has to adjust to today's price, today's stock price. So that's my I call it my 2-minute rule, is if you're trading options, don't trade the first 2 minutes of the open because spreads are going to be wild and all that. As you can see, spreads are wild. This is the spreads percentage. Again, if you haven't, I have the script. I have made a YouTube video about it, how you could get it. If you're interested in that, link will also be in the description. So pretty much this is the percentage of what the spreads are compared to the bid. So here, I like to take the ones that are in yellow, and the yellow means it's 10% or less. I try to take the number that is the lowest. We can see that here it's 5.8%, but it's still adjusting. So, 2 minutes still haven't passed, so I wouldn't take it. But what I want to show you here is, right after, let's say it's the open, market just opened, it's 9:31, and you're interested in maybe trading Tesla. So you want to see what the prices are. We can see that if you want to be in the money or trade somewhere that's close to the stock price itself, so the stock price is 3,205. So let's say you want to take the 3,210 strike price, which is the closest to the stock price. This will run you around $2,700 to $3,000. That is a lot of money for options. If you want to take 10 contracts, this is like a $30,000 play. Um, so it is a lot of money, and as a lot of you know, I like to trade options, around 600 to 1,000 now. I mean, it could be a little bit lower, but anything over like 1,200, I think is a little bit too much. Anything less than 100 is too low. So this is just expensive. So I would be probably looking at this area right here. However, if we look at this area right here, the spreads right now, again, 2 minutes still didn't pass, but we're still just analyzing the stock, the options. We see that the spreads are between 20 to 30%. That is insanely crazy. And even if we look at the one that has the highest open interest, which is this one, 2,800, almost 3,000 open interest, this one has 21% spreads. This is horrendous. You would get destroyed. But however, the market's not open, so let's keep on analyzing it. So, like 20 seconds passed. So here, this is 9:32, almost 9:33. So 2 minutes have passed. 3 minutes almost have passed even. And let's say you want to take Amazon to the upside. So, you want to take some calls. Now, if you want to take the calls, again, I told you that I like to take the ones that have the spreads in the yellow, means under 10%. But we see all of the ones that are in the yellow, the prices of those contracts are over $2,000, which in my mind, it is too much because you have to have an account size that's a couple $100,000, to take 10 contracts of these, or you don't risk it at all. Some people may take the one, they want to take to the upside, so they might take these, the 3,300 strike price, which has the highest open interest. The volume is getting there. Again, it's only 3 minutes after the open, so the volume's still not high. However, the spreads are 15%, just too much. And the reason it's too much is because if you do market buy, you're getting filled at the very top, which is 380, and then if you sell right away, you're selling for 330. So pretty much automatically, if you buy and sell within the same second, you're down $50 per contract, just like that on $330 stock contracts. That's just too much risk in my mind. But let's keep on moving on. So here, my analysis is the ones with the higher priced have lower spread percentage. But if you also think about it, that does kind of make sense because they are more expensive. So in reality, the spreads are more, but percentage-wise, compared to the contract price, the spreads don't look that bad. But, for you to buy a $3,000 contract, again, as I said, you have to have an account that is pretty big. Or don't take this at all. You will get destroyed. It's just not worth it for small accounts. Especially if you have an account under 25,000, don't even think about getting these $3,000 contracts. Just don't do it. So here we can see that, there's two strike prices that are below around below 1,000. There's one that's below 1,000 that has spreads that are less than 10% of the bid. Almost 9%. It's still high, but let's say you really know the stock is going to go up. Here's the thing: this is not the screenshot was at 9:34 and 3 seconds. So in 12 seconds later, these contracts. Let's say you want to take the 3,280, which has almost 9% bid. If we go 12 seconds later. Which one was that? This was the 80. Here's the 80. It goes back to 10%. So the spreads are extremely bouncy. And as you can see, all the spreads are bouncy, only the ones that are under, under $2,000. Anything over 2,000 has the good spreads, but however, as I said, since they are expensive, the spreads are more, but percentage-wise, they are less. And, if we keep on going, this is 9:34, 9:36, and it's still red. So even if you want to enter the trade, you just got to, if you really think that's going to go up, maybe it's worth to take, like, something that's like the slowest one, maybe like this 10% one. But I just still don't see it worth it, especially if you don't, if you're kind of shooting 50-50. And then look, so 9:36:01, this is red. Literally 6 seconds later, it turns, oh, whoa, what happened? It turns 6 seconds later, it turns, there's one even 2%. So you kind of got to get into a spot that's ideal, which is sometimes impossible because you got to have everything ready. And as soon as you see the good spreads, you got to press that buy button immediately. And you just got to pray that you get filled good. However, praying, I don't really like that because, you're kind of doing 50-50. It's either you get good fills or you're getting bad fills. So at the end of the day, if we keep on going, like, we see 1% spread. This actually did an update, but even if it is 1%, getting that 1% is extremely insane, because then, as you can see, it goes back to 5%, and then it goes, 7%, and it's just all over the place. And if we go to 15 minutes after the open, as you can see, it's red, then it turns, something yellow, yellow, which is good, under 10%. So it is very bouncy. I mean, even after 23 minutes of the open, so this is 9:53, we see that it's yellow. These are pretty good spreads, 3%, 6%, 4%, pretty good. But then literally 22 seconds later, they're red. So if you don't enter within that good time period, and then, let's say you click buy, send when it's red, you're going to get destroyed. I mean, look at this 30% spreads. Are you kidding me? 30%. Well, these are actually, what is this, Myrna? Sorry, guys. I have no idea how Myrna got in here. So let's delete that. There we go. So as we can see here, it actually, starts to be yellow, but then again, red, 60% spreads, 13% spreads, something that's not worth it. And this is already 30 minutes after the open. And if we go to the very last screenshot that I took, which is 37 minutes after the open, it's getting there, better spreads. However, this one that has the highest open interest, second highest volume, it's still 9% spreads, which is not worth it in my mind. All right, future Mark here. I was editing this video, and I was listening to it, and I forgot to mention something super important, and that is, I do mention a lot that you have to enter at a good time, like when there's good spreads. But another thing is, you have to make sure that you're entering when the stock price itself is showing that it wants to go more to the upside. So this is where the hardness comes from, is watching the stock chart itself, making sure that the stock can go more to the upside, and at the same exact time making sure that the spreads are also tight. So you gotta make sure two things are perfect at the same exact time before entering, and that is something extremely hard. So what's the end result of this analysis is a few things. Bullet point number one is, if your account is low, I don't recommend you trading options on Amazon, because it is very risky, and if you don't get the good fills, you're going to get bad fills, and then you're just going to be down all automatically. And then if you want to sell, you're going to be even more down when you market sell, market buy. So it's just not worth it if you have a very small account. Do some other stuff like Tesla. And as I said before, that it looks like there's a lot of range on Amazon, yes, but it's all an illusion, because percentage-wise, what Amazon percentage, gap ups, gap downs, are the same as Tesla or like Moderna's. Or Moderna's even a lot more right now because of all the COVID situation. Second of all, if you do have, let's say you do have a bigger account, you have the capital to trade it, it is very hard to enter in the trade, because as you see that 1 second they could have good spreads, the second they cannot have good spreads. So if you don't enter at the time they have good spreads, you're gonna get destroyed. The fills are gonna be bad. Market buy and market sell is just gonna be horrible. Even if the stock went up, and let's say your contracts went up, but then you sold it and the spreads are big, it could actually bring you all the way down to your entry, if not lower or close to that entry. So, you may be losing profit, or you may be even losing money in general. And bullet point number 3 is, Amazon is very bouncy. So, if you're not in the right direction, like for example here, let's say, you saw the gap, it's going up, you think it's going to go more to the upside, you take it to the upside, you get some calls, and then it pulls on you. It is every stock like that, but it's very bouncy. There's no specific direction. It's like, down, up, it just went down. So it is very iffy in my mind. So let's actually look at, today was actually very bad for Amazon. You see, you just went down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. It's not possible to make money here, especially, if you draw your resistances. It's kind of, the resistance is right here. However, it just went a little bit below that resistance. Unless you got it here and then pull it all the way down. It's Friday, though, it's not really worth it. But yeah, that's kind of my opinion on Amazon. What I traded it twice. Twice. I don't think I'm going to trade it ever again in options, maybe here and there, unless there's some big news. However, I'm not going to trade it daily like I trade Tesla or Moderna and stuff like that. I just don't think it's a daily stock to trade unless your account is super big or you got a lot of capital you just want to throw away. It's just not worth it in my mind. And Amazon is not a trade for beginners. Not stocks, not in options. It's very risky, especially options. If you're a beginner, don't even touch Amazon. Play something more like Tesla or something even less. Um, if you're more experienced, you could maybe try it around here and there. But however, I gave you all the information it has. But the spreads are very bouncy, so you have to be very careful. The market buy and market sells. You got to make sure you're buying the right strike price, and the prices are also very bad because the according to what the percent according to the percentages, the better percentages are the ones that are more expensive. However, since they are more expensive, the spreads are technically bigger. So it kind of also looks like, yes, the percentages do look good, but in reality, they're still insane. I mean, this is $200 spreads, but again, it's a $3,000 option. So at the end of the day, it is your decision to make. I gave you all the information I could, so hopefully you take it useful. I have a lot of people asking me, like, do you trade Amazon? What do you think about Amazon? So I just wanted to make this video real quick. So hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Check out my course. Check out my Twitter. On Twitter, I post my daily option trades, what I traded, how much I made. So I'm fully transparent, my losses, my wins, everything. So if you are interested, you could go check it out. Again, thank you so much for watching. Click that subscribe button, click that like button. If you have any questions, put in the comments, or even better, you can private message me on Twitter. Hope you have a good rest of the day, and I will catch you on the next video.